The first Red Scare was a period during the early 20th century history of the United States marked by a widespread fear of Bolshevism and anarchism, due to real and imagined events. Real events included those such as the Russian Revolution as well as the publicly stated goal of a worldwide communist revolution. At its height in 1919–1920, concerns over the effects of radical political agitation in American society and the alleged spread of communism and anarchism in the American labor movement fueled a general sense of paranoia. The scare had its origins in the hyper-nationalism of World War I as well as the Russian Revolution. At the war's end, following the October Revolution, American authorities saw the threat of communist revolution in the actions of organized labor, including such disparate cases as the Seattle General Strike and the Boston Police Strike, and then in the bomb campaign directed by anarchist groups at political and business leaders, fueled by labor unrest and the anarchist bombings, and then spurred on by United States Attorney General A. Mitchell Palmer's attempt to suppress radical organizations. It was characterized by exaggerated rhetoric, illegal search and seizures, unwarranted arrests and detentions, and the deportation of several hundred suspected radicals and anarchists. In addition, the growing anti-immigration nativism movement among Americans viewed increasing immigration from Southern Europe and Eastern Europe as a threat to American political and social stability. Bolshevism and the threat of a communist-inspired revolution in the U.S. became the overriding explanation for challenges to the social order. Even such largely unrelated events as incidents of interracial violence, fear of radicalism was used to explain the suppression of freedom of expression in form of display of certain flags and banners. The first Red Scare effectively ended in mid-1920. After Attorney General Palmer forecast a massive radical uprising on May Day and the day passed without incident. Origins. The first Red Scare's origins lie in the subversive actions of foreign and leftist elements in the United States, especially militant followers of Luigi Galliani, and in the attempts of the U.S. government to quell protest and gain favorable public views of America's entering World War I. At the end of the 19th century and prior to the rise of the Gallianist anarchist movement, the Haymarket Affair of 1886 had already heightened the American public's fear of foreign anarchist and radical socialist elements within the budding American workers' movement. In 1917, President Woodrow Wilson established the Committee on Public Information to circulate and distribute anti-German and pro-Allied propaganda and other news. To add to the effectiveness of the committee, the Bureau of Investigation disrupted the work of German-American, Union, and leftist organizations through the use of raids, arrests, agents provocateurs, and legal prosecution. Revolutionary and pacifist groups, such as the Socialist Party of America and the Industrial Workers of the World, strongly opposed the war. Many leaders of these groups, most notably Eugene V. Debs, were prosecuted for giving speeches urging resistance to the draft. Members of the Ghadar Party were also put on trial in the Hindu-German conspiracy trial. The effort was also helped by the United States Congress, with the passing of the Espionage Act in 1917 and its sister act, the Sedition Act of 1918. The Espionage Act made it a crime to interfere with the operational success of the military, and the Sedition Act forbade Americans to use disloyal, profane, scurrilous, or abusive language about the United States government, flag, or armed forces of the United States during war. After the war officially ended, the government investigations abated for a few months but did not cease. They soon resumed in the context of the Russian Revolution of 1917, the Russian Civil War, and the Red Terror. To some Americans, this was a time of uncertainty and fear over the prospects of an anarchist, socialist or communist revolution in the United States.